Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the boxing shop. Yes, Ray is the reason why we're late again. But welcome. What's up, Ray? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Better late
How's
than
how's that McDonald's that we were waiting for?
Oh yeah. You're not
Oh,
gonna put that on me. You're not gonna put that on me. I went to McDonald's with 10 minutes to spare, got my Sprite because you all know McDonald's Sprite hits, and here we are. And I was still before Ray.
hey, here we are, man. The we.
And I should probably put like painter's tape over there because McDonald's ain't paying us for this product placement.
Nah, but they've held me down for my lifetime, so yeah, they
Yeah.
got that.
Shout out to McDonald's. I don't know if you use the app or not, but you build up them rewards.
Oh, bro,
Man,
yeah,
McDonald's is everybody can say what they want. Obviously, there's better food out there, healthier food, better options, but McDonald's is king. No matter how you want to flip it, no matter how you want to look at it, McDonald's is number one. Pound
I
for
agree
pound.
with that, bro. And yeah, I'll do an ad for their app, bro. Their app's probably the best.
Yeah, and they're
Deals,
generous with
deals
rewards.
wise, then rewards. It's easy.
Yeah,
Go ahead and use that McDonald's app, I guess.
shout out McDonald's. And again, their Sprite is undefeated, bro. There's nothing like McDonald's Sprite at all.
I go with the sweet tea, but yeah, I
Oh
got
yeah,
you.
their sweet tea hits too,
Yeah.
without a doubt. But yeah, what's good, man? Did you watch any boxing over the last weekend?
Man, what did we have? I
We had
watched UFC 300.
oh yeah,
Um,
that was a talk of the internet. That was
yeah, I mean that's they probably been planning that show for a year, so they kind of had to deliver, and they did deliver. It was a great card. Um, Boxing wise, I know. I mean, we'll get into it, right? What was the big Jared
Jared
Miller?
Crybaby Anderson.
Oh yeah, that's Anderson. I get it. Look, there I go, with Big Baby Miller. Man, Crybaby. Yeah, you're no longer Big Baby. You're Crybaby Anderson, bro. So I could try to remember who you are. You're that dude who got in the ring with Roy Jones crying that your people are being mean to you or something. I don't know why you were crying, but
Yeah, that was. We'll get into
let's
the
start
main
there,
event.
bro. What was the fight? Tell me about the fight, because I asked you guys what's going on, and not one person told me I'm missing anything.
Well, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I didn't make it to the 10th round. I did not make it to the 10th and final round. Jared Anderson got his knockout because my ass was asleep. And it's hard to put somebody to sleep during the middle of a live boxing event. I was out. I was knocked the hell out. I could not make it. Unfortunately, it was a very boring performance. Sure, a lot could be said about his opponent, Ryan Murphy or Riyad Murphy. I mean, but he didn't want to do anything. He didn't want to engage. He didn't want to do much. He was just kind of standing there, just kind of chasing, not even chasing, just kind of walking around, plodding around Anderson.
Man,
So, with
I
that
guess my problem with that is I saw the punch stat numbers, right? And I guess they were like, or a couple of headlines, Anderson's opponent didn't want to fight. Bro, isn't that on the promoter and matchmaker? Like, that's what's going to happen when you put him in with non-competitive fights.
right.
Like, he should be to his level, someone that wants to win as bad as he does, someone that has something to lose just like he does, both on the come up or, maybe fighting to stay around. I could have told you how that fight. I could have told you the winner of that fight before I even knew who he was fighting because of the way they've been matching him. So I mean, I wasn't surprised by it, but like at the same time, if you get someone in there like that, if you're that guy, you're getting them out of there.
Right. I mean, I'm pretty sure Richard Torres would have got him out of there, and that's a huge,
yeah,
bold thing. And the guy was a cruiserweight coming up, but people will say, Riyad didn't do much. He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight, but he wasn't running from Anderson. He was standing there. He was in a sense
he's standing there to be knocked out, and it didn't happen.
He was walking him down in a sense, but not actually doing much. He was just kind of plodding around, just staying in front of him, not doing much, not doing shit, to be honest. And Anderson,
Yeah, man, I haven't been
capitalized.
high on Anderson. I don't know. I don't think I ever have, but it's like I feel like, especially with the heavyweights, they represent, right? Like, especially when now we got Tyson Fury, and you got Joseph Parker. They kind of represent a nation. I feel like heavyweights at that spot, and being from America, I'm like, yo, Crybaby Anderson, you do not represent. I don't want that as our representation.
Yeah, not at
I
all.
was cool with Deontay, just knocking people out if he touches you. Still cool with them. I just don't know. I don't know what Crybaby Anderson ceiling is really, like, bro. I don't really, honestly, I don't care what his ceiling is, because the way he fights, the way he acts outside of the ring, like being a crybaby, literally. And then even then he was getting in trouble. I don't really care about that if you could fight, but like, bro, you can't even fight. So like, he's just not it for me, man.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, he's got the entertainer aspect down. His ring walks are always good.
Well, the walkouts. Is that what we're giving him? The walkouts?
I mean, let's give him credit. I mean, he definitely that's a big aspect that's missing in a lot of fighters, and he's got that down, but that's about it.
Yeah, but people that had it down, man, they also did it in the ring, right? Like, Naseem Hamed comes to mind.
Right. Instantly.
Hector Camacho, right? Like, Hector Camacho wasn't knocking everybody out, but he was putting on a show.
Right.
And Anderson just doesn't do that.
Yeah, definitely boring performance, not impressive, not a way to and again, not a way to, if you're going to be the guy, with the country on your back, like, come on, Deontay. We'll get into the news. Might as well get into the news. We'll get back to the top ranked card. The big news: Deontay Wilder on this 5x5 card that Eddie Hearn put on. First reported by Dan Rafael. Pretty sure Dan Rafael thought the 5x5 was an In-N-Out Burger ad, but it was not. It was a 5x5 card. That's what Eddie Hearn's naming it. And Deontay Wilder is going to fight Big Bang Zhang. I'm actually nervous for that.
Well, it's what's the other promoter's name? And I want to give him some shine too. Frank Warren, is that who it is?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're gonna go with that. And each promoter is putting up 5 guys, and it's 5-on-5, right? And this is a card that I think you really want to see, right? Because usually, the promoter has their fighter and they're just trying to match him up against someone they could beat. Hence, Crybaby Anderson against whoever he fought. But now you got a promoter saying, hey, I got 5 and you got 5. My 5 are better. So, man, I think we're going to get it really evenly matched. I mean, like you said right there, Deontay Wilder fighting Big Bang Zhang. How do you call that, man? I don't know. And each guy kind of has the team aspect, which is cool. But then, I mean, just the individuals too, like they're fighting, they seem to be in 50-50 fights. So, I mean, it's a great card. I'm looking forward to it. June 1st, I believe.
Yeah, June 1st in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Saudi's getting the heavyweights for sure every single time out, it seems like. But yeah, you've got Daniel Dubois versus Flip Hergovic, Raymond Ford versus Nick Ball, Hamza Shiraz versus Austin Williams, Deontay Wilder, Zalil Zhang, and William Hutchinson versus Craig Richards. Definitely a good card for sure. Competitive matchups. And it's exciting.
And the main event isn't the main event.
Yeah, that's all the undercard. The main event is a fight that fight fans have been wanting for forever. Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. There's 5 championships on the line: the IBF, the IBO, the WBA, the WBC, and the WBO. All of those championships are going to be on the line, and we're going to have a real undisputed champion here at light heavy. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be a good night, man.
Yeah, the card wise, bro. Just talk about taking a risk, right? Like, if you're a promoter and your guys go 0 for 5, man, like, what does that do to your stable? So, like, I really applaud both these guys, Matchroom and Frank Warren, for like, man, it's pretty innovative, man. Like let's get more of this.
Right. It's definitely a good way to do business, I think. If we get I don't think Top Rank and PBC are gonna follow suit, but I mean that's where the money is, right
But if
there.
they did, bro, yeah, imagine if they did.
Yeah, that would be
Like,
great, man.
hey, you get 5, we get 5. Like, let's do it.
Right,
And it is kind of even. I feel like it would appease all these fans because these fans have kind of became fans of the promotion more so than the fighters.
right.
So hey, let's put up and see what we got. I think it would be a huge selling point. You could have your little PBC fanboys and Top Rank fanboys, and you wouldn't want to lose. So
Exactly.
yeah, I hope it you know spreads out into the other promoters because I really think it's a really cool thing, and I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, they basically took the Survivor Series and made it a boxing version
Yeah.
in a sense. And I mean, I'm all here for it. Like, being that it's 5, you can't have. I mean, you could have two guys win, the other 2 guys win, and a draw. You know, it can make it even that way. But having 5 kind of secures the fact that one team is going to have 3 at most, and the other will have 2.
Yeah.
So you know, if they do it again,
I mean, it just raises the stakes, right? Like,
yeah,
they're kind of independent contractors, boxers, but now as a promoter, bro, I'm sure Eddie Hearn's like, hey, are you on it? Do you need anything? And yeah, I was surprised to see Deontay, I guess, representing Eddie Hearn, man. So that's kind of a new signing. It kind of seems lately more of these PBC guys you're seeing being snatched up by other promoters.
right. The big news over the weekend was Boots Ennis is right on over there with Eddie Hearn now too, and that's huge. Boots is obviously not waiting around for Terrence Crawford anymore. Not that I don't think Terrence Crawford's afraid of him, but I don't think he feels that Boots is going to bring him the payday that he's searching for right now. So he's going to move past that, and good for Boots for moving on and signing that deal, and going after what he needs to do now to solidify his legacy.
Yeah, man. I know this. I never saw any numbers from how the first Amazon Prime pay-per-view went.
I haven't seen numbers there either.
I saw Oscar, and I don't want to. I mean, Oscar's Oscar. He throws out his thing, but he says something like, "Yo, Amazon, like I'm rooting for you guys, but you guys linked up with a company that failed under Fox, failed under Showtime, and he's right, or they failed under. I think they started with NBC or something. The Thurman Guerrero maybe, and man, like PBC, bro, like." There's only so much, right? They don't really. I feel like they don't have the stars that they think they have,
right?
And hopefully it's successful because as a boxing fan, that's better for us. But I don't know, man.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, we'll see what this one's going to do. I know this coming weekend. Well, this is going to be on the Zone pay-per-view actually, so it's not Amazon.
Yeah.
But when is the next Amazon pay-per-view card? That one.
The Canelo, I believe.
Yeah, and they've announced that on the card.
And Canelo doesn't seem to have any loyalty to PBC.
Oh yeah, not at all. Canelo's gonna be Canelo. I mean, Canelo can be signed a Top Rank, and it's gonna be a Canelo card, not a Top Rank card.
Like if you're willing to pay Canelo, he's willing to provide his services.
Right.
But that's what, like, outside of that, I don't know what PBC is banking on. And you better start giving us good fights because I don't think they have the stars that transcend, into pop culture or whatever.
Right.
Without giving us the fights we want. So, like I said, man, I hope they're successful because I don't want to root against boxing. But like Oscar said, man, they've continuously failed on big platforms.
Yeah, and I mean it's true.
And I think that's because we don't get the fights we want.
That's a big part of it too. And of course, at the same time, Oscar is going to come at it in a negative light too, a little bit. So, but there's facts behind it too. He's not just saying bullshit. There's facts behind it. So, hopefully this Amazon does pick up steam. I do think that first card should not have been a pay-per-view. Not that I don't think it was pay-per-view worthy, because it did live up to it. I feel like it was worth the $70. But for your opening card, it probably should have been something free. So people get used to the platform, bring in some outsiders that are like, hey, you know, there's boxing on Amazon now. Let me go tune in and watch it.
And you know, honestly, that's what I don't know about the deal. Like, is Amazon just saying, hey, you know, you provide the money, whatever, we'll give you the platform, or is Amazon involved? Like, I don't know if Amazon's really involved in that, besides letting them use the platform. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But you know, we keep hearing Tank, and I would think Tank's maybe the biggest star. Bro, I don't really want to see Tank Frank Martin.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a decent fight, but come on, we talk about Tank, and we always bring his name up with the Four Kings. Is he the best of this? And yeah, Frank Martin's undefeated. I don't want to see Tank fight Frank Martin if you're only going to fight once a year.
Right.
So, like, to try to sell that as a pay-per-view, nah, bro, that ain't going to work. And I think that's been PBC's downfall this whole time. Like, getting their guys against only their guys and finding you know, Tank's going to win that fight, right?
Yeah, absolutely. At least I think so. I'm pretty confident. I think his experience alone is going to take him through it. And that's kind of the thing that Tank is doing. He's getting these guys. I mean, whether it's Isaac Cruz or Ryan Garcia or now Frank Martin, he's getting these guys early in their career, basically taking that Floyd blueprint. Either you fight them when they're past their prime, Gamboa.
You always fight when you have an advantage. I think that's Floyd's right there. You never fight. It's always kind of shaded to your side.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what we're getting.
I mean, because when you we can go down another rabbit hole again, but
hey, that's what we do, man.
Think about how many times it was Floyd in 50-50 fights. And don't say, you know,
name it. I don't know. Name it. The one I would say that comes to mind, and probably the one I give him the most credit for, but I actually have an excuse now that I'm talking about it. But I was gonna say Diego Corrales.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. That was the first one to come
to mind. But if you look at that fight and what was going on with Diego Corrales at the time, I think he was already scheduled to do jail time.
Yep.
He had just went through everything. So it's kind of like, man, there's always kind of something to Floyd's victories.
There was always some sort of handicap for sure. And that was the thing. Diego, I think, was going into jail that following week after the fight. If I'm not mistaken, somebody could probably fact check me or correct me. But I think he was going into jail that week or within the next 2 weeks or so. That was already in his mind for sure. All the court stuff was going on, you know, all of that. I mean, when he had his little issue, he wasn't fighting. He took the time away from the sport. He wasn't trying to train or go into a fight. When he went to jail, he didn't fight 5 days before. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
that blueprint, man. And I guess that's the whole thing of being the A side, right? Whether it's choosing the size of gloves, the size of ring, the weight, you know, Floyd really, I don't know, he kind of set the blueprint for how to be an A side, I feel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the good thing is we are getting away from that now. And I would like there to be really no A side type fighters in that sense. But we kind of have that with Devin Haney. And I guess that's a decent segue into it this weekend. But I think if there's anybody who's going to model that Floyd blueprint right now, the only active fighter that I can see doing that is Devin Haney. But at the same time, Devin is doing what he should be doing as a world champion and as a guy who wanted a world champion. He traveled to another country. He's going to different promotional companies. He's making deals. He's fighting everybody. He's doing what we want from a guy that is in that spot. Yeah, he's still getting hated on. And, I mean, that's as Floyd as you can get.
I read this fight. He's taking the smaller split.
Wow.
I don't know what it is exactly, but he's to make the fight happen. And to me, that's someone that trusts in their skills.
Absolutely.
They trust what they can do. And they're aware. Like, bro, maybe, you know, everybody doesn't want to see me, but hey, if I take 45% of this, I'll get the fight and maybe I win him over.
Right.
And I think that's just, you know, trusting himself. And I think we've given a lot of credit to Bill Haney being the manager, you know, when Devin was 16 years old or whatever and taking him into Mexico uh, Tijuana, you know, fighting there. And he just seems to trust in his skills, and he seems to kind of get the bigger picture. Where all these other guys are kind of waiting to make any moves, right? Like I said, Tank, bro, he's just not fighting.
Shakur.
It's like, come on, man, Shakur, you're just not fighting because you already think that you deserve this at this point. And let's not forget, right? Like Devin threw an offer to Shakur.
Yeah.
That Shakur turned down. He said, "Oh, whatever, I make that much." But you know, Devin took the small piece of the pie going over to Australia, foreign country, and getting that belt. So, you know, if you're not a fan of Devin Haney, that's cool. I understand. There were times where I was like, nah, but you got to respect what he's doing and how he's doing it.
Absolutely. And, you know, as Bourbon and Boxing says here, Devin is making his own path, setting a blueprint like Floyd. And, yeah, these other dudes aren't catching on. Shakur, Crawford also, they got to fight more than once a year. And, yeah, I mean, it's Crawford who? Terrence Crawford who? You know what I mean? Like, unsolved mysteries, play the music. Where is this guy?
You gotta stay, like, with so much going on. I think now, you know, every sport's televised. You gotta keep yourself in the public eye.
Oh yeah,
right. And I get Shakur and Crawford, and I think they both kind of like, oh, yo, we should be paid off of our skills. It doesn't work that way,
no,
right?
Not at all.
Those two guys might be the most skilled people out there, but you know, when they say it used to be skills pay the bills, nah, bro. Like, it's entertainment. It's a whole group of things, right? You got to be entertaining. You got to be active, right? Like, if you fight once a year and then fight next year, bro, I'm not looking for you. There's too much going on for me to, oh, I really want to see this fight. So now it's kind of, you come back and it's almost like a tune-up again. Like, we got to get reacquainted with you. So,
exactly.
I mean, I think Devin's doing it right.
And the thing with Devin Haney too is, think about the last few years. Was there ever a moment at any point in any year, maybe there's a couple weeks here and there, where you're wondering what Devin Haney is up to? No, because we knew he was fighting. He's active. He's either about to fight in a training camp, just got done with a fight, even then negotiating fights. Like, we always knew what Devin Haney was up to. We never had to wonder. And there's always an anticipation, you know, after this fight, maybe he'll take a couple weeks off and then, you know, let the dust settle. Then he'll probably have another fight scheduled within a month.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be talk, right? And he's kind of present enough where he's going to be there answering questions or, you know, or talking about it. These other guys, like I said, I think they think they're Floyd without doing any of the work that Floyd did.
Yeah.
And they're kind of trying to take that blueprint at the beginning of their careers. Like Floyd was like that, you know, post De La Hoya, right? He's like, all right, you're pretty much fighting for the biggest fight, the biggest money. I mean, Tank's already, what? He's in his 30s.
Yep.
And he kind of has the weakest resume out of everybody.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's probably overall the best skilled between skill, speed, power, all of that. He's probably got it all more than everybody else.
Yeah.
But where's the activity?
Bro, I'm not saying like he might beat everybody, right? Like I'd probably want him to beat everybody. But at some point it becomes hard to like, oh, Tank will beat him. Cool, but he doesn't fight. So what do you want to do about it? Right?
Exactly.
You know, and I get into like disagreements with people too, and as a Tank fan, I'm like, I could easily say it. Oh, Tank will knock out Devin Haney, or Tank will knock out. But what's the point of me saying that? Because the dude doesn't fight, right?
Right.
Like we waited all this time, and he's gonna fight Frank Martin. I don't know anybody that's like, bro, I really hope Tank fights Frank Martin. I can't wait to see that. Like, just give us what we want to see.
Right.
So
we don't understand that. I mean, Shakur Stevenson's another one. I mean, I'm huge on Shakur Stevenson. I even think he beats Tank in a hell of a fight. And for me, that's fight of the year right there. But what is he doing? And then even when he does fight, look at his last fight. Much like how we were talking about Anderson, nobody wants to see that again.
Yeah.
I mean,
bro, I used to have Shakur over Devin, right? And they completely flipped because I would always say like, man, Shakur at least tries to go for the knockout, right? Or he beat Oscar Valdez. We were gassing Valdez last week or a couple weeks ago. Shakur beat him, but the way he fought his last fight, I don't think anybody wants to see that or cares to see that again. You could beat, and that's the thing now, right? Like as a boxing fan, I'm sure a lot of people think this way, bro. You could be the best in the world. I don't care if you're not entertaining and you're that. I don't care. So, like the money's not there because people aren't gonna tune in to see you. And on the flip side, and it's probably these same people getting mad talking about, oh, Jake Paul's a newcomer. He doesn't deserve the money he's making. He doesn't. He is in entertaining fights. He's knocking people out, and that's what people want to see. Like I don't know what is so hard to comprehend, right? Like so, Shakur and basically Shakur, like bro, you can't fight like that and still have the demands you have.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, look at what Jake Paul is doing outside the ring. He's building a fight. People either they're going to support him and want to see him, or they want to see him lose. Yeah. Ryan Garcia thinks he's stolen that blueprint, but no. I mean, you got to be strategic about how you're acting outside of the ring too. Nobody wants to see Ryan win or lose. Nobody wants to see Ryan, period. The way he's acting, especially, we're hoping Devin gets him the hell out of there. Looking at ticket sales for this event, that is a whole nother topic, and it's a sad thing to talk about because with such a big fight, this magnitude of an event, and how poor they're doing ticket sale wise, I mean, you got to wonder about the antics that Ryan was doing. People say, well, he's doing that to sell tickets, or is he really losing his shit? What's going on? And Devin, he's not the biggest draw in the world outside of diehards like us. So with that being said, what do you think could have made this fight feel different? Where this is Monday of the fight week, and a lot of people probably forgot about it being fight week.
Yeah, man, I think it's just miscalculation, maybe on everybody's side. Like I think Ryan, people started saying like, oh, Ryan's this social media star and he's this and he's that, but is he really? Right. And then with how he's acting on social media, bro, does anybody that follows him want to see him fight? Like, I don't know. I don't know who he's trying to appeal to. Right.
Who is his target audience?
Like usually your target audience. And when he came up and he was younger, oh man, he's this clean cut kid. The girls love him. The girls want to see him fight. But now he's like, every day it's a new conspiracy theory or, just this past week, he's like seemingly, I don't know if he really is or not, right? But he's seemingly in a hotel with a porn star and he's saying, oh, I got married. And then he's posting other girls. It's like, bro, who is your target audience, right? Because if you're trying to sell the fight, I don't think that's working, bro. And honestly, I don't think anyone even cares anymore. And I think that has shown with the ticket sales, right?
And I don't know if you watched the video of him pretending he was boxing in slow motion, and Derek James is sitting there on the side just kind of watching him.
Yeah.
Somebody zoomed in on Derek James. Like, he's just looking at him like, bro, what in the hell are you doing? You're literally wasting my time as a trainer too.
But that's on Derek James too, right? Because Derek James has had how long to be like, he could easily stepped away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, true. Derek James, are you just in for a check, or are you – because when you take a fighter to the ring, that fighter is representing you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, and I don't think Derek James is the best trainer. He's kind of – might have the worst year, or I guess I don't know when that last fight was Spence. But, bro, things are looking shaky.
Right.
And I saw an interview with him, and he was talking about, Ryan needs to go in there and do his best. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, there was no we needed, a team, like, we're going to try to do this and we're going to try. No, he was like, oh, Ryan needs to. And something like, we gotta hope Devin Haney isn't Devin Haney. I'm like, bro, if that's your hope, like I don't know what's going on with that. But like I said, with Ryan, I mean, know your audience. No, you want to be the social media star. That's cool. Obviously, that works. But are those people buying? Is it? Are those people tuned in to buy your fights? I don't think so, especially this go round.
Yeah, no, I think the people who were supporting him, that were following him, are definitely checked out. I mean, I know a couple that have they like, what's wrong with this guy? You know, they want nothing. They don't even care about what goes on in his fighting anymore, or his social media posts.
And like I said
here, Devin Haney is smart. He's playing chess, or Ryan's playing checkers. Absolutely.
Man, yeah, I think Ryan's playing with the controller that's not charged up, bro. I don't know what he's doing. Like I said before, he had the clean cut kid, whatever, brings in the girls. Bro, now he's just a weirdo.
Right.
So I don't think those girls that were, showing up to all his fights, StubHub Center or wherever, in his hometown. Like, bro, that's not what he's selling now. Because, your social media page is kind of what you're selling. Bro, I don't think anybody's buying what he's selling. Right. So, he gets talked about every day, but I don't think it's beneficial or even, it doesn't make me want to see him fight, I guess I'm saying.
Absolutely. And, everybody in the comments is the same way. So we'll start here. Ryan's using distractions as an excuse to lose. That's something that I think has crossed everybody's mind. Maybe a little bit of let's act crazy, let's act out of character, so that when I do lose, I can simply just use that as a built-up excuse already. That's a thought.
I saw Devin Haney talk, and Devin said, "Yo, when I beat Ryan, Ryan's gonna say, oh, I knew he was a great fighter. I knew that." And I was like, yeah, he's probably gonna say that, right? So, yeah, like, it's an excuse or whatever, but man, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'm really anticipating the weigh-in. Like, is he even close to making weight? I don't know.
We'll see about that too. That's another interesting thing. If he
makes weight, then I'm gonna be like, well, he trained, right?
Yeah.
Because he's a tall kid, he's a big kid. So for him to make 140, that okay, there was some work done.
Right.
I don't know if he makes weight. I don't know, right? I don't think anybody could say like, oh yeah, he's working hard. He really is. I think we should all be tuned in for that Friday this week and see what he weighs in at.
Ryan acts as if he's taking shrooms or something. I agree. He's definitely acting weird. Ryan's been trying to get out this fight. That's what we initially thought too. Here we are, fight week. It hasn't worked yet. We'll see what kind of antics he has.
I think someone said it in the comments, like he just kind of has the built-in excuse.
Yeah.
And that's kind of lame, honestly.
You've
had enough time. You actually like called him out for this fight, and you kind of had people on your side. We were like, oh shoot, Ryan Garcia wants to fight. But then now, and I think he has said this and other people, social media is not real, right? So these posts could take 1 minute out of his day.
Right.
But why are you projecting that? Because it's not, I don't think it's helping you.
It's not. And you're still wasting the post itself can only take a minute, but the fact that he's spending energy to come up with such different things each and every time, different angles. Ryan acting like a 14-year-old going through a rebellion stage. That's what it seems like too. He definitely doesn't seem focused for sure. And if he pulls off a win over Devin, talk about a swerve.
He's kind of playing with house money, right? He's kind of playing with house money.
And the thing too is he got the Gervonta Davis fight, and now he's got the Devin Haney fight. 2 back-to-back fights with the biggest stars in the sport, essentially. Does he get another one after this? We don't know. We've seen guys who do get opportunity after opportunity before. But after this, if he loses, not only does his stock drop significantly, taking back-to-back losses against A-side, skill-wise level fighters, but his antics alone are going to make a lot of fighters and promoters not want to work with him again in the future.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, I don't know. For him to stay in the position and get the fights, the event has to be successful. And I don't know if it's trending that way. We've heard prices lowering. I've seen a map of all the seats available. It's been a lot. And then, so I guess it would come down to the pay-per-view. And it goes back to all these antics. Is it making people want to see you fight? And I don't think it is.
No, not at all.
If he loses, yeah, I don't know what that does for him, right? And maybe it puts him as like a gatekeeper, like a high-level gatekeeper. But I think hopefully it's like a reality check. Like, bro, you're not as big a star as you think you are.
Not at all. And again, the antics don't make us want to watch. As much as I'm like, not a big fan of Rolly Romero, people at least want to watch him. He's got something to offer still. Ryan does not. He's
not, bro. He's not funny.
Right.
He's not entertaining. He's just. I mean, everything. This whole buildup has been like, oh, he's crazy. He's crazy. He's lost his mind. Why is he even fighting? So I don't know. That doesn't draw me to him. And there's like a lot of people that aren't on social media, and maybe they still see him. They'll still be like, "Oh, that's the fast kid. He has a chance." But if he's playing himself as so much as like I'm a star because of social media, it's like, bro, well then handle yourself better on social media.
Right.
I just don't know. I don't think the fight's gonna do whatever they're projecting. I just don't see it.
I don't either. I'm gonna put a graphic up in a moment too. That way everybody watching can see the the seating that's available. I'm working on that right now.
All right.
But, it's interesting, man. The other thing is the undercard for this. I mean, I have the undercard right here. I can go through it, but just off the top of your head, can you tell me who's on the undercard?
No, I have no idea. Honestly, I can't name. I haven't heard one fight. I don't know.
And that's the thing. Like, where's the build? I mean, so on the undercard, we're also going to have Arnold Barbosa. He's going to be fighting. Where is it at here? Arnold Barbosa is going to be fighting. Beck the Bully is going to be handful your boy Scrappy Ramirez is going to be fighting. Charles Conwell. So I mean, there's definitely a handful of fighters, but where's the promotion? You know what I mean?
Yeah, where are those guys at? Right?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Bourbon and Boxing asked, do you think he's trying to sabotage ticket sales because of relationship with Golden Boy? I don't know. That's an interesting theory, with the way Ryan's been acting, maybe. But I don't think he's that dumb because I'm pretty sure it still affects his paycheck. But
well, what I don't get is why has nobody asked Derek James, hey, is Ryan ready for this fight?
Right.
Like, it's real simple, right? When everybody was like, oh, is Ryan going to fight? Why isn't Derek James saying something?
Exactly.
Like, he could easily, if he comes out and says, hey, I've been training Ryan, we're good to go. I'd be like, okay, this is legit. But I don't know. Do they just want really that excuse? And there we go.
There you go. Take a look at your screen. Those are the seats that are still available this weekend for Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. There's a lot of blues and a lot of reds. I believe the red are verified resale tickets, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what the red signifies. but they're available for purchase still. Oh yeah, those are the verified ticket ones. The blue ones are from Ticketmaster. So yeah, there you go. Those are all the seats that are still available for this weekend, and there is a lot, as you can see.
Yeah, they're still available from Ticketmaster, so they haven't even.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy when you think about it. And there's seats all over.
Yeah, and I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at I guess I won't say their name, but a resale site, and you could buy 15 seats together if you want. That's crazy.
That is. You can have a company party there.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to drop the ticket sales at some point. The ticket prices were pretty high too. You know, if I look at them right now, the lowest price is $185.24 for section 227. I'll put the graphic back up again. So section, let's see, where the hell did I put it at? So section 227, you probably can't see it on the screen, but section 227, row 12, 185 is the cheapest seat that you're going to get. I'm pretty sure that's one of them high nosebleed sections up
Bro,
there.
look at those floor seats. You could buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 whole rows, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Those ones right there on the right side, the bottom right corner. Actually, both on the right side. That entire section is just full of seats. The entire rows is nuts. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how they fill that arena, how the crowd reception is going to be, how it's going to look on TV. Because if I know me personally,
well,
I still wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if I would want to go still or not.
Well, and I think Ryan had voiced kind of his concern from the beginning that this fight belongs in Vegas. Bro, it definitely belongs on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Like what is it? What are we doing in Brooklyn? I don't know why. Like where's Devin? Where's Devin Haney from? I don't even know.
Oakland, California.
Oh yeah, Bay Area. So what are we doing in Brooklyn, man?
I have no idea. I mean, they're both California fighters, right? Ryan's also representing California.
Yeah, Ryan's Southern California, and then I mean, shoot, Devin was in Tijuana and in Mexico. Why are we fighting in Brooklyn? So, and to Ryan's credit, Ryan said that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think he even tried to kind of have the fight moved after it was announced. And, you know, someone said, is Ryan sabotaging? Shoot, maybe Ryan's just proving a point. But it just looks bad for boxing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and again, the undercard, it is a good undercard. It is pretty stacked, but the fact that nobody really knows about it, there's no promotion on it. I'm sure we'll hear more about it now this week. As we start getting to the presser on Wednesday, we'll probably get some names thrown out there. But I mean, we got some good fights on there, and it's a shame that nobody's talking about it. Canelo's on the card already has more publicity about it. I mean, the 5-on-5 card has that. I mean, that main event is can carry the show by itself, but the undercard has become its own event in a sense. You know what I mean? So. What are they doing with this one? It's definitely bad overall. But at the end of the day, I hope Devin Haney wrecks Ryan Garcia, and I hope this is one of the last times that we see Ryan on TV. Which I
I mean, you know, they keep trying. When it was first trying to be sold, it was this is game 7 or whatever. They're 3-on-3 in the three wins each on the amateurs, which is like cool on paper. But when you really think about it, we're counting fights from when they were like 10 years old.
Right.
So it's like, come on, man. That don't mean anything. I don't know, man. Maybe Ryan goes in there and hopefully, like, hey, if he goes, hey, I'm going to go out on my shield from round 1. It can make it entertaining. I can see how this fight could be entertaining. You know, maybe Ryan thinks, hey, Devin Haney doesn't hit hard. I'm just going to go throw. He's not going to knock me out, and maybe I hit him. It could be entertaining. But I just don't see – I think there's no way that I could confidently pick Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, me either. Devin's he excels in every category other than that lightning fast speed and potential power that Ryan Garcia could land on Haney. Haney's been cracked before, and Ryan is super fast. He's got a good left hook. That's, really his only option.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He can make it entertaining. Ryan can make it entertaining. If he goes in there and saying, "Hey, I'm just gonna throw it out there and see what happens," we might be in for an entertaining event. But I don't see how any person can confidently pick Ryan Garcia in this fight. So I'm sure the odds are way lopsided. And even if Ryan were to win, what does he say? Like, does he stick with the conspiracies and all that, or it worked? I don't know. I'm really not even that interested in this fight, honestly.
Let us know in the comments below who you guys think is going to win and how. I'm pretty sure I think it's going to be unanimous that everybody thinks Devin's going to win, but curious to know.
But like I'm saying, even if it's unanimous that we all think Devin's going to win, it's because Ryan Garcia has given us reasons to not pick him. But even if Ryan wins, I'm still like, bro, this dude's weird, right? Like, cool. Why did you do that leading up to the fight? Like, you could have made this. You could have made this fight a fight for boxing to put on a pedestal, kind of.
Right.
But instead, you've just kind of ruined it with everything. So even if you win, it's like, oh, okay.
I think win, lose, or draw. Well, if he loses, Devin, then we'd probably see a rematch. But I think I honestly think the next fight we get is going to be Ryan and Raleigh, because they're both going to be in boxing hell at this point. Nobody really wants to see either one of them anymore. Bro, but what do you do with two guys that nobody wants to watch? You put them in the ring together, just like Adrian Broner and although I still have a lot of I still want to see more of Blair the Flair Cobbs, but in a sense, not a lot of people in boxing do. So what do you do with two people that nobody wants to watch? You put them in the ring together, and that's what's going to happen with Ryan and Raleigh, I think.
Yeah, but I would watch Ryan. I would watch Ryan and Romero. To me, that's a little fun. But if he's normal, man, like,
I don't think
what you do outside of the ring, it kind of matters.
Right.
We just talked about Crybaby Anderson. Like, bro, you're crying in the ring to Roy and all that. Like, that matters. Like, you're an independent contractor. We're looking directly at you. So, Ryan, if you're going to be weird and I don't know, what you're going to post 5 minutes from now, like, I don't really care to see you.
Right. I don't think we get normal Ryan again. I think this is going to be weird Ryan for quite a while. I think this is new persona because, as much as he's accused Haney of being a part of the Diddy committee, Ryan is the one acting
that was funny by Ryan though. Go ahead.
It was, but Ryan is the one acting like he's been having PTSD from being a part of Diddy or something like that. And Devin is just Devin. He's always been Devin. He's a good, humble guy, speaks well, chill, talks trash when they need to, but respectful. And Ryan is he's gone off the deep end. He's the one acting like Hollywood's got a hold of him.
Yeah, he's just all over the place. Like I said, man, at least, Rolly, he could be funny. Some of these guys talk trash, but where Ryan's just a conspiracy theory. It's like, bro, just turn your social media off, bro. Like, right. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear what you're saying. So in turn, it makes me not want to watch you fight. If I just didn't hear from you, I'd be like, oh, Ryan Garcia is fighting. Like, let's get it. But yeah, I think this is going to be a wake up call though, because this doesn't seem to be trending very well.
Definitely not in the right direction. I mentioned it.
Michelle says Kanye needs to help set Ryan free. Well, I did see Ryan say he promises Kanye's going to walk him out. So I doubt that happens.
That would be a match made in hell. Mentioned it a few minutes ago, but Adrian Broner, Blair Cobbs was made official last week. You want to talk about entertainment? That is going to be an entertaining build-up at every presser or media event that they have together. Say what you want about Adrian Broner. He's about as dumb as Raleigh Romero comes, but they can him and Blair on the mic is going to be just comedy.
I don't know, man. I feel like AB is overrated on the mic.
He is only
he tries too hard. It doesn't come.
He does
come off as like smooth or genuine. It's like he's always trying. Like he worked something out beforehand, and he's gonna try. So I don't know.
This is a good one. He's gonna beat the corn off Cobb. Not my quote. Sounds like something Adrian Broner would say.
I'm with Bean, bro. I don't think that fight happens.
Yeah, and probably not because I feel like Blair could probably fight this weekend. I would bet on that. But Adrian is probably at least a few months out away from being in any kind of fight shape. He definitely doesn't stay ready. He has to get ready every time, and that's ultimately will probably damage his career in the long run too. He's not as dedicated as he should be.
Blair, people always taught Adrian Broner. I would say when Adrian Broner was at, was he at 126, 130?
Yeah, 126.
Adrian Broner at that weight, that's an all-time great. Like if he stays at that weight, 126, 130, bro, because nobody could deal with his punching power. He had that one. He obviously doesn't throw a lot of punches, but at that weight, when he hit you, he was putting guys out. As he fought at the higher weights, probably because he didn't have the discipline to make those lower weights, he was just a guy, bro.
Right.
He's just a guy.
Right. And in his head, he thinks he beat Pacquiao for whatever reason. He's below average as he moved up in weight for sure. He had a lot of heart.
Yeah.
He hung in there with Maidana. Gave an entertaining fight, but yeah, he was not an elite guy at all.
No,
as he moved up.
Yeah, I think what made him elite was that he was bigger and stronger at those lower weights. But he decided he'd spend a lot of his career at 40, 47, and it's like, you don't have anything to offer there.
And
I still don't think he has anything to offer.
Well, we talked about earlier, guys taking a Floyd blueprint, trying to make it theirs. Adrian was trying to copy that so much that it probably jaded his career. He wanted to be a three weight division champion. He wanted to continue undefeated, and I think that was probably a big downfall of his too. He was chasing that as opposed to creating his own lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it also hurt him that, television hopped behind that. They thought they could make him that guy. But he was never really that guy, right? Like I remember Daniel Ponce de Leon, when finally someone could take his punching power, and this was at the lower weights, it kind of showed like, he ain't all that. So, when he did move up and, one punch from here isn't going to get you out. It's like, he was just another guy. But he did have the talent though, because if you remember, he knocked down Sean Porter, right? And but you could just tell that's just someone that really didn't maximize their potential.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, I wish he would have, because I liked his style, but again, I don't think he was very focused. The nightlife took a hold of him.
Now, bro, we're way too far past me thinking he has anything.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. The upcoming Garcia Haney clown show is bad for boxing in the long run. Future will look back at this as an embarrassment. I don't know. What do you mean the pendulum is about to swing the other way?
Yeah, and I don't know about that, because I don't know how many people are truly tuned in to social media. If you don't tune into social media and, Ryan Garcia is Ryan Garcia and he gets in and has a great fight, That's all you're gonna remember, right? It's kind of us, I guess, hardcore fans that maybe look into everything. And we follow Ryan Garcia, we follow that. But the people that don't follow that, and I guess that'd be the older people, I mean, maybe we get a great fight.
We'll see.
I don't know.
I mean,
because you have to think. Let me throw Ryan some bell here. If Ryan's thinking, I'm faster than Devin Haney,
which I think
probably taller than him, and I hit harder than him. If I just attack him, he's not going to be able to hurt me. We could have some fireworks.
And I do actually think he does have more power than Haney, and he is faster than Haney.
Yeah.
And he has shown that he's a little bit fearless. He was the one walking down Tank in the beginning of that fight. It could be a good fight. It could be entertaining, but we don't know what Ryan to expect either. We don't know what's going to come out of this.
We don't know, and he's kind of set himself up where he's kind of given himself, whatever happens, he has an excuse to fall back on, and maybe that was his whole point from the beginning.
See you later, Bourbon and Boxing. Hey, 1 a.m. Appreciate you rocking with us. ITR Boxing After Dark, you know how we do. Which, by the way, make sure you guys pick up the merch soon.
Oh, you're on mute, Felix.
My bad. Yeah. I don't know if my my microphone is on the right microphone. Yeah, it is on the right microphone. All right. But yeah, merch coming soon. Retro tee, you know, people are loving it, man. Definitely sent out some influencer packages, so those should all be getting sent, or they should all be getting delivered soon to a lot of people. So you'll be seeing it around, and then the store drop is coming soon. You'll be able to get this along with merch, just like Ray's got right there. And that's a fresh one, man. We might put that on a polo. I could definitely see somebody going into a job interview with the ski mask emblem right there.
Do it.
Back to business. Well, I mean, I guess that is business. Bivol and Beterbiev. We touched on it earlier, and that's a fight that everybody's been clamoring for a while. Fight fans in the comments, what do you guys think about that one? And then, you know, Ray, what do you think about that one? You still rocking with Beterbiev or Bivol?
Man, after the last fight, I think I gotta go Beterbiev. Bro, that power he's got, and you know, there was the rumors of a failed test and nothing happened to him. So, if that dude's roided out, I'm taking Beterbiev.
I'm taking Beterbiev for the simple fact of his activity. He's dealt with adversity in the ring. He's bounced back. He didn't let it stop him. He's just got more tricks up his sleeve than Bivol does. Bivol has, even against Canelo and, you know, other fighters, seems like he's had a relatively easy time in there. And it could be to how damn good he is.
Yeah, maybe he makes it that easy, right?
Yeah, maybe he is just that damn good. And, you know, maybe we'll see on June 1st. But from what I see so far, I think I'm going to rock with Beterbiev. I think he's just grittier. He might want it more. And I feel like Bivol, we've all said it before. I think Bivol felt like beating Canelo meant that he was Canelo. Like,
yeah. Bro, people fall into that. And like I said, it comes to a point like skills, it's not skills pay the bills.
Right.
It's like, no, there's more to that. So like, you may have more skills and beat that person, but that person has connected in other ways, which make them who they are. So yeah, I think Bivol beat Canelo and thought like, okay, well, I beat him, so now I get all of everything that he got. And he kind of set himself back, I feel, a couple years.
Yeah, I definitely do, because a lot of people, a majority of people don't even remember that fight. And especially the diehard Canelo fans who only tune in to watch him fight, they definitely don't care about that fight or care.
Yeah, and I mean, Bivol's last fight, I think it was in Saudi, I
Yeah.
remember watching it, and he went 12 with the bum,
Yep.
a complete bum. So yeah, you can't. You're not gonna be able to do that with Beterbiev. You better bring something else to the table. And like I said, I haven't seen anyone test dirty in Saudi, so I don't know what that testing's like. But Beterbiev's last fight, there was some controversy, some tested positive. Oh, not really. And if we get Beterbiev in Saudi, hey, I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna continue to Beterbiev.
Yeah, absolutely. And that should be a fun fight for the excitement, because that's one fight that we've all been waiting for. What is it? Bivol, I believe, is 22-0, and or Beterbiev is 22-0, and Bivol is 20-0. So it's one of those, somebody's always got to go. Like it's a perfect unification bout.
It's a fight that we all want.
Yeah, without a doubt, and it's on paper everything you could want in a unification bout for boxing. So it's
My
great.
only I guess complaint would be that it is overseas, so that kind of throws off how we see it. We usually see it around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock,
Oh yeah,
which is cool, but at the same time, it doesn't maximize exposure is not maximized. So I feel like it doesn't really do too much for the sport. Like this is a fight. This is a great fight. This is a fight that we always say, hey, we need the best fight in the best. We're getting it, but it's not going to get the exposure it needs.
right. And I'm going to highlight this comment, because here's the interesting thing. We've always talked about we don't get stacked undercards anymore. When Don King was around, we used to get undercards. The thing is, when Don King was around, we would get undercards for a Julio Cesar Chavez card or a Mike Tyson card. Nobody was outshining either one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
The undercards were stacked. We had guys like Terry Norris, Maldrick Taylor, just a bunch of different fighters on there, but none of those dudes were going to outshine Chavez or Tyson. However, everybody on this undercard is going to outshine Bivol and Beterbiev almost when it comes to star power. So are the fans even going to care about the main event by the time it happens? It's almost like one of those fights where you would rather be the first one up on TV to set the tone, because the heavyweights are going to come after you. We're going to expect some knockouts. And there, not every one of that 5 versus 5 is going to be a heavyweight fight, but it almost feels like Wilder and Zhang is the popular fight, and it is going to be the main event attraction in a sense.
Yeah, and bro, come on. Like, let's keep it real. If Deontay Wilder wins that fight, he again sets himself up for Anthony Joshua, which is the fight we all want, right? Especially now he's with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom. If he wins that fight, which he has to know, if you win that fight, Deontay, there's what? 50 mil, 100 mil out there for you, probably
easily, because
like
Tyson,
if that's not motivation, go ahead.
Oh yeah. If Tyson Fury is still wrapped up with Usyk, they're fighting in mid-May.
Mid-May, and I believe both have a rematch clause.
So yeah, they're going to take that through September more than likely, which means Joshua's not getting the winner of that fight anytime soon. If Wilder wins this fight in spectacular fashion, we're getting Wilder Joshua later this year, without a doubt.
Oh, if he wins that fight in any fashion, bro, especially now they're with the same promoter.
Yeah.
So I guess to that point, like that really is the fight, even for me.
It is.
Because that really has the bigger what happens next. As for Bivol, I mean, I guess you would say David Benavidez, but I don't feel like there's that star power there that Deontay Wilder brings.
Well, the other thing too is that makes 175 interesting now. There's going to be one champion after this, and it's going to be either Beterbiev or Bivol. It's going to be one of the two. David Morrell announced, and I don't know how much honesty is going to be behind it, but he announced that he's moving to 175 because he's tired of chasing these guys at 168.
So what's David Benavidez doing? Moving to 200?
Probably. Probably because he
Okay.
it's like the opposite effect of when the magnets get close, the other one just kind of moves away.
Yeah, because David Benavidez has been calling out Canelo forever, but he acts like David Morrell doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Which that's the fight to make, right? Like I know David Benavidez is going up to 175, and you can say, well, how can you hate when he's moving up a weight division? But he's not moving up a weight division to fight a champ. He's moving up a weight division to fight a retired fighter who is Canelo's sparring partner. So,
yep.
Yeah. So if David Morrell is chasing him to 175, hey, David, you probably could go fight Zuro, that bum, and get a belt at cruiserweight if you want.
That's true. So with that being said, David Morrell, Beterbiev, David Morrell, Bivol. I mean, both of those are fun fights, and I'm picking David Morrell. Up anybody up to heavyweight. I'm picking him, and even then, I'd pick David Morrell over Usyk all day.
Oh, maybe over Usyk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely beat Zuro Ramirez, bro.
Oh yeah, easily.
But yeah, like David Morrell really is. Like, obviously, we're just going off eye test, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I might pick him up over everybody through light heavyweight and cruiserweight as well.
Yeah, not only is he skillful, you can tell his composure in there. He doesn't fight like a guy with less than 10 fights. He's composed in there. He's relaxed. He doesn't look for a knockout. It literally just comes. He's got the skills to go through 10 rounds. And, it was very unfortunate what happened to his opponent, but you see what happens if you do go 10 rounds with him.
He almost killed that dude, right?
Yeah, David Morrell is that dude, without a doubt.
I think so, man. I think so. And to me, yeah, bro, I want to see Benavidez Canelo for sure. But I think David Morrell is right there with him also. So it's kind of disappointing for Benavidez to be so much saying, "Oh, he's ducking me," but then you're ducking Morrell. Right. Obviously.
It's a game of duck, duck, goose between the three.
Like, don't be throwing it all out there. Oh, this dude's ducking me when you're doing the same thing. So, right. I mean, we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Boxing in 2024 is going to be a lot of put up or shut up. I think there's talks. There's been some fan created graphics out there. Don't get fooled, but there's a fan created artwork of Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo finally going at it, which we saw the little scuffle they had last year at the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford backstage area. That's a fight that is interesting. It almost sells itself if it happens because of the bad blood behind it, but that's something we almost have to look forward to. That doesn't involve a world. Well, I guess it would involve a world championship, right?
No, I think they stripped him, right?
I'd have to double check. I don't think maybe Charlo doesn't have those titles anymore. But hey, that's a.
Well, and I doubt Caleb's coming down to 160.
Oh yeah, no, I don't see that happening either. I think it's going to be at 168, which is again, it's one of those. It's a put up or shut up year, and I think that's going to be a fun fight right there that falls in line with that category.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, there's going to be some good ones coming up this year. May 18th is going to be it's going to outline a lot for us. Usyk and Fury is one that we've been waiting for a while. It keeps getting delayed and postponed, or fighters pull out, Tyson Fury. And I think the heavyweight landscape has been tied up. We still want it to be an American heavyweight. In a perfect world, maybe Tyson Fury and Usyk fight. Whoever loses to Joshua, that person, Joshua loses to Wilder. The United States gets the championship again in a perfect world.
Or Richard Torres comes through and saves Captain America.
I don't know if Richard Torres could do it, but if Richard Torres is fighting Fury or Usyk for the championship, undisputed championship, I'm pulling for Richard Torres only because United States needs that championship, man.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, bro, I feel like heavyweights, man, they really represent the country. And I don't want Crybaby Anderson to be that representation.
Yeah, we need a better American heavyweight. Now, that's just an interesting, catch and counter podcast. I always likes to end it with fantasy fight Fridays. But if we were to put Richard Torres and Jared Anderson in the ring, who are you rocking with?
Oh, Richard Torres, 100%.
I probably would too. I know Jared's got more.
Bro, he was an Olympian. This is why I'm torn. I know we throw a lot of shots at Richard Torres. Bro, he was an Olympian. Like,
Yeah.
you don't, not everybody just becomes an Olympian. So he did that. He's beating these guys easy. It's like, I don't know. Obviously, we've seen him been knocked out cold. So I don't know if there's still some concern that may happen. But I've also seen, Crybaby Anderson almost lose to Charles Martin on short notice. So it's not like I have him way up here. So that's if you want me to watch Anderson, like put him in there with Torres, and let's really see who separates themselves.
And the funny thing about Torres, which I mentioned before his last fight, the guy still only has 9 fights. I feel like he's had such a long career already. And I must have literally watched every single one of his fights because for him to have such small amount of fights in there, seems like he's been around for quite a while already.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of my complaints on why these guys shouldn't be on TV immediately. Because if you're selling them as like a top guy, I want to see him again. It's good competition. But if you follow boxing, obviously you bring a prospect from the very bottom and they're fighting guys who've never fought. And it's a long process. But if you're going to put them on TV from the beginning, well, then that process better be cut in half or more,
Right.
So I think that's why we expect more from Richard Torres. He was a, high-level Olympian, and he's kind of been on TV from his first start. It's like first bout. It's like, all right, let's see something.
And not only that, and we do kind of throw some shade on some of the ESPN commentators from time to time, but they're doing their job at the end of the day. And whether Richard Torres is 3 fights in or 20 fights in, it's their job to put him over. So with that being said, putting over somebody with such little experience as if he's the next great thing is only going to do more damage than good at the same time too.
And I mean, come on, we're not dumb, right? Like, we understand when you're trying to put someone over.
Yeah.
And you get that a lot with today's commentators, and you could, just by listening, you could tell who the promoter's the promoter's fighter is. And I think that really makes you kind of turn on them, right? Like, bro, I'm not an idiot. I know what you're trying to do. And I really think that's kind of what turns a lot of fans away. At least, I mean, maybe I'm just a hater. I am a hater. I hate on whatever. But like, if you're gonna try to make me like someone, chances are I'm probably not gonna like them.
Yeah, when it's not authentic at all, an organic way, it's the fans can see through that. And Al Pacheco, excuse me, it is late. Torres is a good dude, and if you watch his social, if you pay attention to his social media, it's a lot better content than what Ryan Garcia is putting out. It's
bro, I was about to say, he's a funny dude. I've seen clips of him, kind of engaging. Yeah, it's just like, bro, why is he fighting such low-level competition? He's way better than them. So that's my only complaint with Richard Torres. Like, bro, I know you're better than these guys. Fight better people.
Exactly, and I'm sure we'll get there. I would love to actually see. I don't know if Top Rank will ever do it, but I would like to see Richard Torres and Crybaby Anderson go at it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It would be. I mean, that's the one thing I don't know if Top Rank is willing to do is put their fighters against each other. And they don't have a whole lot of guys in the same division that they can match up against each other. I mean, I don't know how many more times they can put Robson Conceição against one of their fighters. They're kind of starting to run low on that. But when you have 2 guys that are kind of even in the terms of who they're pushing, because they're pushing Anderson and Torres kind of in the same light. They're not ever really pushing Conceição. He's just their in-house jobber in a sense. So if
I mean, yeah, and I mean they have a few guys like that. I'm not gonna mention too many names because some are friends of the program, but it's like I think you said it like, we get the usual suspects on a top rank card.
We do, and that's it's sad. We do get the same, and not to knock any of those guys either, but they they're in a great position. If you're a young prospect, I would think up to at least your 15th fight or so, you'd want to be built by Top Rank because they're going to matchmake you really well to that point. Yeah. They're going to give you the TV exposure, all of it. They're going to do what you need to, but when it's going to get to a certain point where you're going to have to step up in competition, and that's where kind of these guys with Top Rank kind of go stale after that. You see that with a lot of guys. They don't really know what to do after a certain point. After building them up, and that's the Top Rank machine there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's they're the best in the business. But if you're showing us their fights and you're giving them the platform, the TV platform, I don't want to know the outcome before I start. And that's my I don't know, gripe with a lot of these guys is like, oh, this guy's fighting. Okay, he's going to fight a bum that he's going to knock out. And I just want to see somewhat competitive fights or at least move that fighter up slowly. I saw your interview with Jackie Kellen, and she said, like, every fight that they would take as a manager, they'd up it. They know now it's someone tougher. Now they're fighting a southpaw. Now they're fighting someone that does this. Whoever they fight, whoever she would match her fighters with, it was always someone better than the last or someone that offered something else. And with Top Rank, you kind of get into this stalemate where they're just beating up the same bums over and over.
Exactly. And the rotation of the same guys, sadly. And, by the way, if you guys have some time, go listen to the interview with Jackie Kellen, one of my favorite interviews that I've ever done. Went for like almost an hour. That was great. But as she mentioned too, when James Toney first fought Michael Nunn, he was a huge underdog. Nobody expected him to beat Michael Nunn, and he did, because they were constantly fighting up every single time. And when you're fighting, you're creating a hungry fighter that way. And somebody who's constantly, getting gritty victories every single time out. And, James Toney, one of the greatest of all time, one of my favorites of all time too.
Well, I feel like it's almost a goal or a mission, right? Like, here's your championship. And the fighter looks at it like, all right, I beat them. Now I beat them. Now I beat them. And video games, right? Like you face the boss and then the next boss and whatever. But I feel like a lot of these promoters get into this spot where, like, you're not fighting anyone better. They're just trying to get wins.
Right.
So they end up 20-0, whatever, 30-0. Yet you've never fought anyone. You're fighting the same level over and over again. And then they lose, and you're surprised. It's like, no, come on, man. Take it back to the old school where you climb that ladder. I do think that is one of the things that boxing's missing today. It's more about how can I maneuver my fighter to get 20 wins and no losses. And they'll pull some guy from South America or one of those countries in South America that has an undefeated record just because they have an undefeated record, not because they pose any kind of problem to them or pose, okay, this is a puncher, this is a boxer, whatever. It's just, they're just trying to maneuver their ways, the fighter to an undefeated record rather than kind of fighting better competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the worst way to go about it, because when you actually do face that fighter that is going to give you some, pushback, what are you going to do? And that's why I don't remember who said the quote. It was an old head, definitely an old timer from an old era of boxing. But he said, if a fighter wins his first championship and he's still undefeated, then he hasn't learned anything. And it makes a lot of sense. You
It
know,
makes sense.
makes sense. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be that the guy lost, but you can understand where he's coming from, what he's saying. If you're not, because obviously if he's lost, he's facing somebody who's better than him. And that's what you should be doing every time out.
Yeah. And I would say, like, you know, Canelo's at the top of the game, so he has a lot of haters. But if you look at his career, like, he fought guys that pose different problems to him as he was coming up. You know, he fought, you know, his first show, he fought a kind of experience pay-per-view. He fought Jose Miguel Cotto, right? And you know, he got rocked, but he still kept advancing. So even as he's coming up, he's fighting Austin Trout's southpaw. He's fighting Erzlandi Lara, another southpaw, fighting all these different styles to make him better. You know, and kept progressing. Fought a Floyd Mayweather. Was he weight drained? 100%, right? That's another thing we're not going to talk about, but come on, he had him fight at 152 pounds, whatever. But all these fights made him a better fighter. Right. And I felt like he took those fights to make him a better fighter. Where a lot of these guys currently, it's just like, okay, who can I fight to stay undefeated? And that's the difference.
Yeah, it's sad, but that's the state of boxing in a sense for building up guys. Hopefully, we see a break in that. Some guys do. I think some fighters are built different, but I will go on a limb and say you're not going to see that on the top rank side. You're going to see that with a PBC fighter or maybe a matchroom fighter. But on top ranks, not building their guys in that way at all.
Or Golden Boy fighter, right? Like, I mean, for all the hate that we just gave Ryan Garcia, he probably didn't need to fight Tank Davis.
Yeah,
and he probably could have got away not fighting Tank and still be undefeated. But
I will say, he's the one that pushed for that. Golden Boy didn't want that one. He's the one that wanted that. So we'll see if Golden Boy keeps that trend. I mean, I don't know who still is with Golden Boy right now, fighter wise.
I think their world champions are Zurdo Ramirez.
Oh yeah.
I know they got Virgil Ortiz. He's fighting. Here we go. Virgil Ortiz is fighting Thomas Delorme at 154 pounds. Bro, there's absolutely no way in the world Virgil Ortiz loses that fight. So why have that fight?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, come on. Yeah, I guess staying busy, but you're going to Delorme, he's way past it. He's probably at his best at 140 or whatever. And now you're going to fight him at 154. Boots knocked him out in one round at 147. But now it's supposed to get hyped that Virgil Ortiz is fighting him. Like, that's one of those fights. Like, bro, what does that do for you? Nothing.
Right. Nothing at all. Yeah. I'm looking through Golden Boy's roster right now. I mean, we've got Demetrius Ballard, Arnold Barbosa, Jojo Diaz, Diego De La Hoya. I don't know how he's still listed as an active fighter. Manuel Flores, Gabriela Fundora, Ryan Garcia, of course. I mean, there's some names in here. Shane Mosley Jr., Jaime Munguia. I mean, there's Alexis Rocha. There is some names. Floyd Schofield probably is their most promising one, I want to say.
I mean, I would say Virgil still. I think Virgil has the ability to be that dude, but I feel like you're just running on a treadmill if you're fighting Thomas Delorme at 154.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you are. He's riding the it's not an elliptical, but those, the bikes basically. He's pedaling, but he's not going anywhere.
Well, he might even be going backwards with that fight. Like that fight's garbage.
And obviously we know there's been a lot going on with him health wise, so we want to kind of build him back up slowly and make sure he's able to get there. But Thomas Delorme. At least if you're going to feed us something like that, I mean, they could have found a South American fighter that nobody really heard of, but is ranked and maybe has an undefeated record. That would have looked more impressive than fighting and beating Thomas Delorme.
Bro, Delorme's been knocked out in 1 round. Now you're going to have him fight at 154?
Yeah, I know.
What are we doing here?
It's mind-boggling.
And then the thing that bugs me, right? Like, if you're just staying active to stay active, cool. But we know after that fight, Virgil's gonna say, "Oh, I want Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence." He's gonna say, and I'm not doubting that he really wants those guys or that he would fight them. I think he would, and he'd probably match up very well. But you shouldn't be allowed to mention those names if you're fighting Thomas Delorme.
Right.
That's just my thoughts.
There should be a clause in his contract that you're not allowed to call anybody out after your fight. So I think that definitely puts us to the end of the show for the night. Anything else you got, Ray?
Yeah. Man, no, not really, bro. Well, we got this week coming up. We got Canelo Munguia. I think that's a good fight, right? Like if it's not David Benavidez, I think Munguia offers a lot. And we'll see if Canelo can get him out of there. Because if Canelo can't hurt him, that's going to be a really good fight.
And I think this is probably pulling from that Floyd blueprint. Munguia is early in his career still. Definitely a little bit more polished than most at that stage, I would say. But I feel like it's still a very winnable fight for Canelo. But Munguia's not gonna. He understands the magnitude. He's not gonna punk out in there. I hope. But,
yeah, he's one of those guys who's kind of brought along to keep that 0, right?
Yeah.
But he did look great against Ryder, his last fight. So I'm not mad at him getting this fight, but hey, that's one of those fights like, okay, hey, yeah, you worked your record up. You won some championships, but now let's see what happens.
Right.
But I do think this fight can tell us a little bit about both. Because even though Canelo's at such a higher level, he's fighting a real big guy with a good chin. So, like, let's see. That comes forward. So let's see what happens.
And he did have that war with Derevyanchenko too, which is a close fight. So we know he's going to be gritty. He can bring it. And it's going to be a fun one, man. Cinco de Mayo weekend. Obviously you're going to get a great Mexican war there for sure. But that will be it for the night. Stay tuned. We're going to have some more. We did a couple live interviews this week. I'm going to have another live one dropping sometime midweek. So stay tuned for that. I'll be throwing it out on the IG. And again, the store, we wanted to launch it in March, but I'm a perfectionist. And until I feel like we have a product that's ready for you all to enjoy, I'm not going to put it out there. There's no point in rushing anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, watch his interview with Jackie Callan for sure. Definitely. Hall of Fame inductee.
Hall of Fame interview.
Yeah, okay. I see.
No,
it's really good. He was on his A game. Really good interview. I plan to watch 5-10 minutes of it. I stayed for over the whole time. Really good interview, bro. Props to you.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. When I get inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame one day, I'm gonna have them play that one. That's gonna be my.
For being long, bro.
That's what got me in there. Yeah, there we go with the ski mask on. But that's it, y'all. Before we go, I'm gonna throw up the graphic again, and that's what we're gonna use to exit for the night. That's what we got to look forward to this weekend. Hopefully, the crowd that is in attendance can make enough noise to make it feel or sound good. But yeah, with that, we're out, y'all. Peace.
Hopefully, we get a good fight, man. The marketing was done all wrong, I feel. Ryan, I don't know what you were doing, but I'll forgive you if you put up a good fight. So let's go.
Let's go. Fingers crossed. And hopefully it is fight of the year candidate quality, because that's all we really want at the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
Peace.